Welcome to the first NFL Sunday. It is a beautiful, beautiful day out here in the Northeast today, live from the Philadelphia suburbs. This is a SchlossRant number 67 NFL Week 1 picks. We're going to give you 5 plays against the number. Right now it's about 9:40, so probably closer to 10 o'clock by the time this is posted. Enough time to run to your respective spots and get everything posted all good to go. This day is always exciting. You had Thursday, the Chiefs. You had Friday, the Eagles and the Packers. But football is all about the Sunday. It's not about Thursday night. It is not about Friday nights in Sao Paulo, Brazil. It is about the first Sunday of the year. Wherever you're on the East Coast, you go from 1 till about 11:30 at night. If you're out there back on the West Coast, you start off your day bright and early at 10 o'clock, and you finish off around 8:30. It is all about that first Sunday of NFL football. So let's get right into the picks. We got 5 plays for you. Let's start off with the first game. Jags getting the 3.5 at the Miami Dolphins. We like the Jacksonville Jaguars in this spot. Miami normally capitalizes on teams who are unprepared for the heat and the humidity that is South Florida. The problem in this particular spot is that Jacksonville also resides in the state of Florida, so we like the Jaguars getting the 3.5 points on this Sunday. I think Trevor Lawrence is due for a bounce back season. He got paid the big money, more than $50 million on an AAV basis. I like for the Jacksonville Jaguars to keep this close and look for them to possibly win the game outright. I think with Miami, sure, you've got talented players like Tua and Hill and A-Chain, but I think that Jacksonville is definitely in a spot where they look to bounce back here, and Trevor Lawrence has got to show that he is worth that contract, where last year they collapsed down the stretch, and he did not show that, despite the fact that 2 years ago, that huge playoff comeback victory against the Chargers. All right, game number 2. Titans getting the 3.5 points at the Chicago Bears. Listen, everyone and their mother has been all over the Chicago Bears, hitting the over on the wins, hitting them to possibly make the playoffs and win the division, hitting them possibly even as a future. We understand they won 7 games last year. They get rid of Justin Fields. They have the number 1 pick. As a result of the trade with the Carolina Panthers. But I think with the Chicago Bears here, just the fact that everyone is on them here, everyone is talking about Caleb Williams here. These rookie quarterbacks, they don't always win their first starts. I believe there's something to the number of 0-14. So we like getting with the Titans. You have Will Levis, not the best quarterback, but he showed you last year what he can do in Miami. We like them getting those 3.5 points here. And, of course, the game is in Chicago. I'm not ready to jump on a rookie quarterback in their first game and lay 3.5 points. Most of these games fall within that 3 number, so I think there is good value here to take the 3.5 points with the Titans. In terms of where the money is going, something to the effect of 70% of people are backing the Bears here. So we like to go against that number here, and we're going to go with the Tennessee Titans getting the 3.5. It might even be up as far as 4, but we have it at 3.5 here on the screen. Next game, Panthers plus the 3.5 at the Saints. Listen, the Saints were a mediocre team last year. They weren't great. They won 9 games, but you don't like the combination of Carr and Allen. I believe this is one of the worst combinations between coaches against the spread and quarterbacks against the spread, meaning they don't quite live up to the hype. So I think if you put all that together, you have a spot here where, yeah, you're back in Carolina, who was a bad team. They're now on their 3rd head coach in 3 years. They fired Frank Reich in the middle of last year. But you have to think that Bryce Young, a number 1 overall pick, has got to do better than what he did last year. We take that into effect. We're getting the 3.5 points. This is a division game to start the year. We like getting the points in these divisional type of matchups. So give me the Panthers getting the 3.5 points here. All right, the next play. The Jets and the 49ers. We're going to go with the Jets, Jets, getting the 3.5 points. Aaron Rodgers is 9-0 in Monday Night Football in games he started. He also technically, you could go last year and make it 10-0, but he played 4 plays. We're not going to count that. So he is 9-0 on Monday Night Football. You might say that, all right, he's playing the 49ers, his arch nemesis, whether it be Jimmy Garoppolo, Alex Smith, he loses to them. But We like the spot here on Monday night. We like the fact, and we talked about this in the NFL preview episode, where the distractions with Ayuk, with Williams, we see the talent with San Francisco. We're not saying they're not going to make the playoffs, but we think here in this particular spot, Rodgers coming off the injury, ready to go, refresh the year off, should be healthy, should be good. And the fact that the 49ers have had so much turmoil, have that Super Bowl losing hangover. I like the Jets getting the 3.5. There might be some better numbers out there, but we have 3.5 here on the screen, and that's what we are going to stick with. Give me the Jets, Jets, getting the 3.5. Monday Night Football out there in Santa Clara, California, not San Francisco, despite the name. Next play and final play of the 5. Texans at the Colts. Listen, the Texans are the darling of everyone's eyes. They made the playoffs. They won a game last year. C.J. Stroud looks to be among, some of the top quarterbacks in the league. We get all that. We understand all that. But in this particular spot, Anthony Richardson, there's not a lot of tape on him. All right, he's a rookie. He was a rookie last year. He got injured. He's tremendously athletic, tremendously mobile, has a big time arm. We like the fact in this spot, these divisional games in week 1, getting the points. I'm sure you've seen the numbers out there. The play is in effect the same thing with the Saints and the Panthers that we mentioned earlier. We like the Colts here getting 2.5, throw in the fact that they are at home. This is a nobody believes in us type of spot. We like what we see there with Richardson getting the 2.5 points. Not a lot of tape on him. I think he's played only 17 games since his senior year of high school. So yes, you want to look to defend his running, obviously, but that is easier said than done. I think he will do enough to throw the ball down the field, and I think the Colts end up winning the game here. And one more note I was just thinking of with the Panthers and the Saints. You like what you see head coaching-wise with the Panthers to also get that 3.5. Let's talk about who their head coach is, Dave Canales. What did Canales do as the offensive coordinator of the Buccaneers? He salvaged Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield was pretty much halfway out of the league. He, played a nice game for the Rams in 2022, I believe, on a Thursday Night Football. And, they brought him in to kind of replace Tom Brady. No one can replace Tom Brady. But you like what he was able to do, where he was able to get the Buccaneers to win a playoff game as offensive coordinator and look pretty good in that game against the Lions in the divisional spot. So I like the upgrade here in coaching. I don't know what happened to Frank Reich. I always thought he was a pretty good head coach with the Colts. But you like that coaching upgrade possibly, especially on the offensive end, to fix Bryce Young's misgivings with Canales overseeing the football team. So, the 5 plays against the number. Jags plus the 3.5 at the Dolphins. Titans plus the 3.5 at the Bears. Panthers plus 3.5 at the Saints. Jets plus 3.5 at 49ers. Texans at the Colts, with the Colts getting the 2.5. We are not picking a favorite in week 1. I like getting the points. Historically, I always like to take the points anyway. I wasn't interested in laying a big number with the Bengals and the Patriots. I wanted to pick my New York Football Giants at home against the Vikings. I mean, the problem in that game is you're gonna beat your head up against the wall if you watch Daniel Jones continue to make the same mistakes he's made year in and year out, with the turnovers, with the bad fumbles where he loses sight of the blind side. And if you wanted to make a play on the Vikings because of all that, you can't go in and back Sam Darnold as a favorite on the road. That's just not the thing we're going to do. I understand he's played many games in that stadium. I understand when he was the quarterback of the Panthers, he went in there and beat them. I believe, in 2021, he went in there and beat them in, might have been week 3. The Panthers started off 3-0 that year, I believe. So you're not backing Sam Darnold or Daniel Jones. So you got to stay away from that game. Again, no big numbers there with the Bengals and the Patriots. But those are the 5 plays. Now, do I like the Giants' chances to win the ball game today? Yeah, I sure do. They got those dopey Michigan Wolverine, San Francisco 49er hybrid uniforms. I don't love that. But I like the Giants' chances today to go win the game. It's not an official play. I like the Giants, quite frankly, to start off 2-0 this year if you were really looking to get frisky, because they play the Washington Commanders. That's the only team they seem to beat in recent times. So I'm optimistic. And we picked the Giants on the last pod for over 6.5 because we think Dable's going to be good enough to squeeze 7 or 8 wins out of the team. So I like the Giants possibly to start off 2-0. I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs. I'm not saying they're going to have a winning record. But you like the spot starting off with Sam Darnold and then a rookie quarterback in Jaden Daniels with the pass rushing spots of Burns, Thibodeau, and, of course, the second best player on the SchlossRant top 5 NFL players, Dexter Lawrence, in the middle. I mean, I know we're getting off on a tangent, but this is the SchlossRant episode number 67. If you got nothing to do, you're sitting around waiting for these games to start. There's a YouTube video out there. It might be on TikTok too. I'm not on TikTok, but something might have come up in the Google search of all of Dexter Lawrence's sacks. And again, I'm not the biggest guy for sacks, especially on the interior defensive lineman. This guy is just, I've got a lot of pushback in the DMs and Twitter and email and just conversations about Dexter Lawrence and how good he is. This guy is just an absolute dominant player. He just pushes people around. So I'm glad I saw that video. You should all check that out too. Dexter Lawrence is an absolute dominant player. And again, I think that's going to help get pressure in the face of Darnold. And I think next week, definitely with Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders. All right, enough with the NFL. Let's get into a slightly different topic here. We're going to pull back out the phone for the notes. 76ers. Why are we talking Philadelphia 76er basketball on the first Sunday of the NFL season? And this is an interesting topic. Sixers have been trying to get a new arena. They're trying to build it in what we call Center City here in the Philadelphia area, which is, pretty much the heart of the downtown, so to speak, in Philadelphia. And all this outrage online about the 76ers possibly moving to New Jersey. We're not talking Brendan Byrne Arena. We're not talking the Izod Center. We're not talking Continental Airlines Arena. We're not talking the Prudential Center where my New Jersey Devils play, and of course the owner who owns the Commanders and also the 76ers. We're not talking that. We're talking Camden, New Jersey. Now, have you ever been to Camden? I mean, you probably know that there's a pretty awesome concert venue over there, but it's across the freaking river from Philadelphia. This is even closer than when the Giants and the Jets both moved to New Jersey. The amount of outrage out there is just simply ridiculous. You got Villanova basketball, and I know we're going all over the place here, but Villanova, they are a suburban school, not in Philly. They play their games in Philly. You got the Philadelphia Union. They play their games in Chester, the soccer team. What is the difference? I don't understand the outrage. You can literally see the city of Philadelphia. Not only that, the Sixers, their mailing address for business and tax purposes is New Jersey. The amount of outrage from these just absolutely idiotical Philadelphia sports fans, it makes no sense. Are you really that offended if they move the arena over a river where there's a bridge, where there's a train to get you there? I mean, come on. I like the setup that they have now. You've got the hockey and the basketball in Wells Fargo. You got Citizens Bank with the baseball, and you got the link with the football with the Eagles, all there in one little, complex. And you got tons of parking, despite the fact that it's in a, urban environment, definitely within the city limits of Philadelphia. So you get all the amenities of being in the suburbs, but you're still in the city. So I get all that. But what is the big deal if they move to New Jersey? These Philly sports fans and these Philly people, they go out of their way to just rip on our friends over there in the great state of New Jersey. New Yorkers do a little bit as well, but especially people in Philadelphia, they can't stand anything New Jersey. Meanwhile, they do anything to go down to Wildwood, in the mile wide of beach from the boardwalk to the ocean. They hang out there. They go to Atlantic City, whatever some of these other horrible beaches are. I mean, you know what? Keep going there, because you'll leave Spring Lake open for myself. You'll leave Belmar open to myself. You'll leave Seagirt open to myself on the northern end of the shore. Those are the beaches. Those are beaches, people. Those are nice, beautiful, clear, open beaches. I don't got time for Wildwood and the mile between the boardwalk and the ocean. So you keep going there. Keep ripping on the state of New Jersey. And when your basketball team is playing there, just realize it's 5 minutes from Philadelphia. Get over it. Go take a train. Go take a ferry. Go drive your car over the Ben Franklin Bridge. It's not a big deal. I mean, let's talk about the players for some of these Philly teams. You think Joel Embiid's living on the main line in Gladwin? You think he's going to the new McCaffreys in Gladwin? I don't think so. You think that Nick Castellanos and Bryce Harper are living in Bryn Mawr? No, they live in New Jersey anyway. What is the big deal to move the Sixers to New Jersey? They're going to get $500 million in tax credit. They're going to get land. The practice facility is already there. You Philly sports fans and Philly people, you're hot stuff sometimes. It makes it hard to, embrace all of you, because you're just so ridiculous. You make no sense. The mailing address of the team is Camden, New Jersey. No one's saying you're going to call them the New Jersey 76ers. They're not moving up to the old Brendan Byrne Arena. I'm not moving to the Rock to share a building with my New Jersey Devils. Get a grip. It's not that big of a deal. The Giants have been playing in New Jersey since the 80s. No one gives a rip. No one cares. The Jets have been there since, or the Giants have been there since the 70s. Jets have been there since the 80s. No one cares. New Jersey, much like New York, or New Jersey and Pennsylvania, much like New York and New Jersey, separated by a river. And that's the other thing. People who aren't even from this area, they're commenting. They see, oh, 76ers to New Jersey. They're going to, wow, why would they move the team into New Jersey so far away? There is a river between. Do you not remember George Washington crossing it? Did you not read a book in history class? Did you not watch a documentary on the History Channel? Do you know anything about the country's history? Delaware River. Delaware River. They're not cutting through the pine lands. They're not cutting through, where Moltisanti and Paulie Gualtieri, what's it called? The Pine Barrens, excuse me, not the Pinelands, the Pine Barrens. They're not cutting through the Pine Barrens to get to a 76er basketball game. Across a river. Calm down. Mailing address, already there. Most of the Philly athletes live in New Jersey anyway. Get over it. They'll still be a Philly sports team. No one's, they're not going to be called the New Jersey 76ers. People are hot stuff. All right, SchlossRant, live, first Sunday, NFL season. We got the NFL picks one more time. I know I went totally off on a tangent there. Jaguars plus the 3.5 at the Dolphins. Titans plus the 3.5 at the Bears. Panthers plus the 3.5 at the Saints. Jets plus the 3.5 at 49ers. Texans at the Colts, with the Colts getting the 2.5. All 5 underdog picks for the first Sunday of the NFL season. SchlossRant, live from the Philadelphia suburbs, the Pennsylvania side. So you people would probably be fine to move the 76ers right here to Bluebell, Pennsylvania, behind the building that I live in with all the office parks. They could demolish all those. But then, you'd probably never be able to get there anyway, and you complain just as much. All right, we kid. SchlossRant live. Philly suburbs. It's going to be a beautiful day out here in the Northeast, everywhere, I think, from Pennsylvania to New Jersey to New York. If you're going to be out there at the Giant game, enjoy yourself. Let's go Big Blue. Let's get this win. It's not part of the official plays, but I like the Giants to start off 2-0. SchlossRant live, Philly suburbs. We'll see you later, everybody.